Do you think that there is a genuine possibility that that actually could happen in this day and age that we are in?
I do, Joe. I don't think it's likely today or tomorrow, but if you and I had spoken 10 years ago about the possibility of land war in Europe, we'd have said, no, that era is past. And now for the last more than 1,000 days, we've watched a grinding, bloody land war in Ukraine. And it seems in some ways to be widening. In the United States, there are a lot of people who, because they've never seen it, don't think it could happen. And that gets to the idea of we are a civilized society. We are above violence, but we're clearly not. We have so many people killed. We had a person use a homemade flamethrower yesterday in Colorado to attack a number of people who were out expressing support for something they believed in. And so the fact is, it doesn't seem on the verge of coming because it's not a strictly sectional divide in the United States right now. So it's not in the Civil War, you had a pretty clear geographic divide between slave and non-slave states, which gave the construct a little more clarity. Now it's more cultural and it is more patchwork. But the reality is there are a lot of people who feel very, very strongly about the other people in a negative way and vice versa. And the level of trust is far lower than, of course, we'd like it to be. So I think there's every possibility that we could move closer and closer to that.
And of course, that is frightening. And I'm curious just in terms of the work which you've done, obviously in terms of, you've been at the helm of the best militaries in the world. And I'm curious, do you believe that democracy, whether that's in the United States in terms of, obviously avoiding a civil war, or, whether that's in other places like the Middle East, do you believe that democracy can be negotiated? We patiently wait out through evolution and cultural change? Or do you feel that there are times in which there needs to be, perhaps, unfortunately, maybe brutal or very significant interventions that kind of come from the state level?
Yeah. I have to agree with the latter. You would like to see patient, peaceful evolution. I don't think that any move toward real civil equality in the United States would have occurred with simple, peaceful evolution. The Civil War, I think, had become inevitable by about 1850. And so that had to happen. And then we had to have a civil rights movement. Remember, it was another century before the civil rights movement really got traction. And that's 60 more years, and we're incomplete. So I do think it takes the pressure of some leaders and movements, because if you simply wait for evolution, I think we would be disappointed. There's too many stakeholders that benefit from status quo to do that. Internationally, I think it's the same. But at the same time, let me say that at this age and with the experiences that I've had, I am humble about the ability of outside forces to come in and change societies effectively. We can go into a region and we can help that society protect its sovereignty, and we can try to encourage democracy. But there are currents of culture and religion and other factors that we should be very, very realistic about both our willingness and our right to change them. And so I'm not saying that we don't want the world to go to that direction, but I'm not sure it can be mandated or imposed effectively, at least in the short term.